I swear to God, that sound bit's gotta be copyrighted. What? Hello there. I'm sorry, I can't give a straight face. I really can't give a straight face. I can't give a straight face. Who gasped for the Michigan convoy?
Mr. President, do you want to address your people or?
Mr. President,
Sorry.
your people are waiting.
Okay. Oh, I think I'm good now. Maybe. Though if this comments keep up, it probably won't be. Anyway, since Chris ain't here at the moment, I'm taking over. Honestly, I don't think Chris would fit this button-down shirt or tie, so probably look better than him anyway at the moment. So, since Chris is currently being, well, to put it simply, a simp. Yeah, that's as blunt as I can put it. Well, then making a fool of himself, that's probably pretty accurate too, now that I think about it. This is a hostile takeover. Yes, I have a sword in my hand. Terrible thing is I know how to use it too, which probably ain't a good thing. But, yeah. What a comment says, good God. Blame my Secretary of Defense for handing me a sword.
Robert!
Huh? I'm reading comments.
So read them.
Well, this blade could probably chop more than a corn dog in two. I mean, it's definitely sharp enough to decapitate somebody. Do you sharpen this with a whetstone? Looks like you did. Damn, I heard that once and I'm tapping to it now. Honestly, I agree. Definitely better than Biden. Would you duck? Do you mean fuck? Keyword, none of them. You wanna know what I find funny? Chris paid to fly me out here, and yet he ain't fucking here. Which I find perfect. See, that means I'm able to do this shit without him bitching about it. Which honestly is only a good thing, because guy cannot do bitch. Kind of reminds me of, my biological mom. Not a good look. Ugh. Just imagining that. Oh. Now, what else? Oh. Emergency purposes only. Well, I consider this an emergency. Freaking Chris got... I mean, don't get me wrong, y'all. I know it was a bit. Though, at the time, it pissed me off. Chris got married on Fish Tank, and he didn't even think to invite Blaze, Nick, or me. Which, frankly, kind of pissed me the fuck off. Like, fun. If I was getting married, I can 100% guarantee you I'd have sent Nick, Blaze, and Chris an invite. So the fact he didn't, I personally think it's fucked up. But that's just me. And on top of that, after the fact, after the fish tank season ended, Chris proceeds to go off on a frickin', what would you call it, tangent? You good, B? Nick, you good? And now he's off making a fool of himself without his friends around or anything. All because he's sipping over a chick! The fuck is wrong with him? What, you said go on a rant, I'm going on a rant. You didn't specify about what? See, this is what happens when I'm allowed to go on a rant. And you don't specify the subject. No, not really. I'm not ready for this. But because some of the shit that pissed me off happened so long ago, I can't even remember half of it. Ugh. Okay, so, where do I start? Oh, right. I guess earliest thing I can think of is my biological mom drinking on still inside her. So, yeah, before I was born. Yeah, that's fucked up. But yeah, that frankly pisses me off. I got taken away from my biological mom by my great grandma and taken to live with my grandparents at the age of 6 months, according to my great grandma. And honestly, I'm thankful they did, because I dread to think what would have happened to me if I remained in that house. My dad was good and all, but according to my great grandma, when she came to get me, I was in a crib surrounded by dirty diapers. The house was trashed pretty much. It was not sanitary at all. So, yeah, I'm actually thankful that they took me from her, to be honest. But nah, King Cobra JFS is gonna be the first to go. Well, inflation, probably do something about illegal immigration. That probably ain't helping any. Okay, well, probably doesn't help the facts that, as you all know, I have FAS. How you get FAS is your mom drinks what before you were born, while you're still in the womb, which is why my eyes are like this. It's a known sign of FAS. One of the few that I can actually remember off the top of my head. But, and on top of that, I have ADHD, which means I can't sit still for, well, I can sit still, it's just hard for me to do. That's one of the reasons why I try to keep myself occupied by either playing video games, doing videos like this, or reading my books on my phone, or just a hard copy, or just a physical book. Though I haven't read a physical book in a while. But yeah. Anyway, no, I mainly play video games and do all that kind of things so that I stay out of trouble. Because in my personal experience, when I don't keep myself occupied, now keep in mind, I don't go looking for trouble. Trouble usually finds me. Despite the fact that I try to make it hard. Not for like a try, mind you. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Oh, right. 6 months old. And then fast forward to age 3, I met Chris in preschool. Met Chris in preschool. Then that started a going on 25-year friendship now. Yeah, it'll be 25 years on his birthday this year. So, I've known Chris for what feels like forever. And we've been doing this since I think 2011? No. 2009. Yeah, but 2009. When we started this channel and we started doing what we enjoy, which is really stupid shit on the daily. It started with Airsoft gun reviews, then went to Airsoft, then went to lightsaber duels, which I enjoyed really much because it allowed me to channel my aggression it allowed me to channel my aggression in a, I guess you could say, good manner without me actually murdering somebody. Not that I didn't come close in 2017 because I saw red, but that's beside the point. And then, of course, when Chris turned 9, his dad died. And when Chris was 9. And then about 3 years ago, Chris lost his mom, who, when she was alive, me and her may have fought every now and then. But at the end of the day, I saw her as a surrogate mom at the time. Because when we were younger, she looked after us, and well, she tried to keep us out of trouble. Not that it helped any. We were a bit of me and Chris, when we set our mind to it, we loved to cause chaos. Matter of fact, I still do, but that's beside the point. At this point, it's an art form. Probably not a good thing, to be honest. Probably definitely shouldn't be something I'm proud of, and yet I am. And then in 2019, and then of course in 2019, freaking the Full Force documentary aired. And I felt vindicated because most of y'all, you know who you are. When I asked me on multiple occasions before the Full Force documentary dropped, how trashed Chris's house was. I told you, and you pretty much said bullshit. So when the Full Force documentary dropped, y'all saw exactly how bad that house was, and I felt kind of vindicated. And I was able to say, I told you so. So, that felt great. And, let's see. Okay, now, where was I? Oh, right. Full Force. So, yeah. And then, of course, about a year after Full Force dropped, I found out that Ian apparently likes watching his wife have sex in the same room. Which, honestly, at the time didn't really surprise me, considering I met the guy. He was kind of strange. Ugh. Nick, you good? But, yeah, and then I found out about a month before I came out here that my dad, I say dad, but I technically have two of them, my adoptive dad and my biological, which in this case I'm referring to my biological. I found out that both him and my grandpa, about a month before I came back out here, that at the time that Ian came out to my grandparents' house, they both kind of wanted to kick his teeth in because of some of the questions he asked, and they just really didn't like the guy. And frankly, some of the shit I said in that interview, I said purely to get a reaction because I didn't really like the guy either. But yeah. Now, up until the weekend that iDubbbz came out here, I had never even heard of iDubbbz. until Chris mentioned that a big time YouTuber from Cali was coming out to Battle Creek to interview me and him. And if I remember correctly, my exact words in the text chain were, who the fuck is Idubs and why does he want to come and interview two dumbasses from the middle of nowhere? He didn't really give me Chris didn't really give me a satisfying response other than the fact that he'd be showing up that Friday. And it wasn't till Sunday that Ian actually showed up at my grandparents' house, and then of course y'all saw what happened from there. So, honestly, yes, I was a bit cocky in that lightsaber duel at the end of the video. I had every reason to be. Save one lightsaber duel that Chris only managed to win because I had been up all night. Because I had been up all night the previous night playing video games, so I was exhausted the following morning when first thing Chris did when I woke up was showing me do a lightsaber duel, so that's the only reason he won that one. If I had been actually well rested, that duel probably would have ended differently. But yeah, I was a bit cocky in that fight primarily because on the grounds that in all the duels me and Chris have had, he hasn't really won any except for that one. Now, I'm sure y'all are familiar with the Airsoft punishment video that we did, I want to say, 8-9 years ago? I'd have to look. I'd have to find it again. Now, the original punishment that I had to dish out to Chris for, I think it was losing a lightsaber duel. We had a bet for that. We had a bet for that one. That whoever lost would have to be shot full auto from a Airsoft M4, a full magazine, and full auto. You want to know the funny thing? He didn't even get through half the clip before he started screaming like a bitch. And at the time, I was a nice friend, so I stopped shooting him. Now, I should have actually followed through on the full punishment and tracked his ass while holding the trigger, and actually ensured that he took the full magazine. But being the sympathetic guy I am, though I will admit I did laugh my ass off hearing him screaming like a freaking bitch because I thought it was hilarious at the time. Still do, funnily enough. I stopped shooting him with it. So that's why that video got cut before the full mag was expended. Now, as far as the Arizona story is concerned, yes, it actually happened, but I'm not telling you exactly where. On the grounds that I know one of you is currently looking for the dude. Yeah, what else? Don't we usually just wing this shit? To be honest, I don't really know what the future of the channel is gonna be like. I know for a fact there's gonna be more lightsaber duels and more war videos. I'm not exactly sure. In fact, I think the next war video is gonna be my battle against the Legions of Hell. If you remember that point from the ending of the last war video, I think it's gonna be my fight against the Legions of Hell in the Fates, if I remember correctly. After that, we'll see where the war videos take us. Now, yeah. Really? Don't want to know about that? Oh, God. Why do y'all want to know about that? Oh. I mean, I understand why y'all want to know about it. But, okay. Now, as far as my other personalities, I guess you could say. They were more a personification of, I guess, a bunch of factors. Each one has to do with a different emotion, pretty much. One's rage, one's sadness, one's... Well, I can't really say there's one for happiness, because, well, didn't really have much. After my grandma passed and my great-grandma passed, I didn't really allow myself to feel much of anything. Except for rage and a big man upstairs. But that's beside the point. But, yeah. It's difficult, to say the least. Now, yes, this is a real gladius next to me. Why the heck my Secretary of Defense decided it was a good idea to hand me live steel, I will never know. Though, luckily Chris is smart enough to know that I'd probably have way too much fun with it back at his place if he allowed me to take it home. Which is probably smart, if I'm being completely honest. But, alright, I say let's answer some questions, I guess. Gonna have to better do at the moment. Okay, let's see. Yep, gotta refresh this. No, I'm not talking about that. I know you want me to, but I'm not going to. as for now, my second defense told me to tell you guys about every girl that I've ever seen Chris simp over. Starting with his first girlfriend named Michelle, which actually I thought it was capping until I met the chick. He found out real quick he wasn't capping about it. So, threw me for a whoop. And frankly, I thought he was batting way above his pay grade. Shockingly enough. And then, okay, so there's only 2 girls that I know of that he's actually dated. Michelle, because I've actually met her. And the second one is a girl I went to elementary school with when in my younger years. I think first or third grade. Yeah, first or third grade was when me and this girl went to school together. She made the mistake about 6 months into their relationship when I was over at Chris's place one weekend, to tell her that during elementary school she had a crush on me, which nothing ever came of it, funnily enough, because we were kids and, well, neither one of us knew of the first thing about our relationship. And then, without me knowing about it, he proceeded to pretend to be me and to, in a sense, test her loyalty. And then that either Monday or Tuesday after that weekend, she sent me a text on a messenger telling me about it, and I proceeded to send him a few angry texts because, frankly, I was pissed off because I kind of saw the chick as a sister. I knew her for years, so I saw her as family at that point. Still do, actually, though me and her don't talk much nowadays. So yeah, those are the only 2 girls that I know that he's actually dated. And then, of course, the 2 recent girls he sent over were ones Letty and Trish. I think Letty was the first one. First recent one. Yeah, that was Fishing Season 1. Yeah, definitely Letty. Nothing came of the first one, not for a lack of trying on his part. And then, of course, the most recent one, nothing came of that one either, and he's still technically simping over her because he's still apparently with her at the bar at the moment. Yeah, that ain't gonna end well. Especially considering I don't know why he's even at the bar, considering he don't drink. I do, he don't, which is strange. Why the fuck would he go to a bar when he's not even gonna drink and have a good time? It's confusing. Anyway, yeah, okay, let's see. Points in a cover. I officially can't think of anything now. Oh, yeah. Why do y'all want to know about that? I don't really know, to be honest. primarily because the last chick I fucked was, I think, 190, 200, I think. I don't know. She was skinny when I fucked her, and then after we broke up, she let herself go, funnily enough. For me, for a loop. To the point where I could not recognize her when I saw her next. Which is fucked up. Anyway, I was at bowling. Okay, so in Battle Creek, through Summer Point. Yes, I'm covering this because I got nothing better to do. You asked, I'm answering. Okay, so if you guys have heard of Summit Point in Battle Creek, they have this program called CIR. CIR stands for Community Inclusive Recreation, where they go around Battle Creek doing different activities. One of which is bowling, which I used to go to. I haven't gone in a while because I've been here and I've been doing other things. The fuck's so funny? This program is primarily for those with disabilities, primarily. It's basically, it was made in order to get us out and about, which in certain circles, me having FAS makes me mentally disabled, and they'd be right. There are some days where I can't focus for shit, and there are some days where I'm hyper-focused. But I think that's mainly part of my FAS, part of my ADHD. Not really sure what exactly FAS entails because I don't have the packet in front of me that I got from a therapist years ago. But yeah. Now, where was it? Oh, right, bowling. We, about 6 months after me and her broke up, I went to bowling. She was there at the lane next to the one I was bowling on. And every now and then, after my turn, because there's 3 people on a lane, I'd look over at her simply because I couldn't believe it was actually her, because it was night and day. When I dated her, she was relatively skinny. After we broke up, she was kinda not. So, couldn't really recognize her. The only reason I knew it was her is because her name was on the scoreboard on the lane next to me. That's the only reason why I knew it was her. If her name had been up there, I probably wouldn't have recognized her. But, yeah. Can't really think of anything else to talk about. So, if you have any questions, if you have any questions, feel free to comment and I will try to answer them. I'll just go down the list. No, I don't got anybody beneath the desk. I mean, it is a free country, just apparently not for you. Alright, this is President Robert signing off. What? Hold up. What? I thought you told me to salute! Thought I was signing off! The hell? I want to hit that. probably gonna die, but fuck it. Kids, don't do this at home. There's still some in it.
Nah, hit it. You ready?
Yeah, kids, we don't do that at home.
So, Mr. President, what happened at the bowling alley?
Nothing. My dad and my grandpa were bowling that night too. My dad and her talked and we left. My dad couldn't believe how much she changed either. So
Like, by how much weight she gained?
yeah, pretty much. Threw us both for a loop.
You think she was fat?
Not when I first started dating her.
At the bowling alley?
Yeah. And I think my dad's exact words were when we got onto the car, "Bet her pussy's still tight as fuck, though." His words, not mine.
What did he mean by that?
She wanted to fuck him too.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. That was interesting conversation. That was a real interesting conversation.
How did it go?
Nothing came of it.
She wanted to fuck your dad?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
My dad told me. According to him, because she came over to, while we were dating, the year I turned 26. She came over that Thanksgiving to my grandpa's house, and I found this kind of strange. She asked to see my dad's dick. And according to him, her exact words were, "I don't think I can handle that." Which I thought was fucked up, and then I instantly got pissed off. And needless to say, our relationship didn't last much longer after that.
First lady material or no?
No. How did I know you were gonna ask that? What you laughing at?
Mr. President, what do you want to do about the tunnels
What tunnels?
in the city?
We're gonna find them and blow them up, cause fuck it. I mean, you can't really. Well, I suppose you could fill them in, but I kind of want to know where those tunnels are now, just to go exploring a bit. Might make for a good video. We're gonna have to do that with Chris when he. Well, I say when. That's more if. Considering I can guarantee he ain't gonna react kindly to when we show up there tomorrow, because he's gonna want to simp over that Trish bitch. Oh, come on, you know that's a real reason you don't want us to come pick him up right now. You know that for a fact.
Because of the tunnels?
Wait, did the tunnel stretch that far? Really? Now I really want to find them. So, yeah, I'm kind of conflicted on the grounds that, well, I support, well, technically I support free NFL teams. The Cleveland Browns, that's primarily. Really? You too? Detroit Lions and the 49ers. Anyway, the 49ers and the Detroit Lions faced off tonight, and the game was actually pretty close. I think the final score was 31-34. Hang on, let me double check that real quick. Make sure I have the facts straight. Yeah, 31-34. 49ers won. But it was still pretty close. Lions were 14-6. 14 wins, 6 losses. And 49ers have 14 wins, 5 losses. So, I don't know, pretty good standings. I support 49ers because of my grandpa. He is a fan of them. I started following Detroit Lions last year. And of course, Cleveland Browns I've supported for years. On the grounds that I used to watch the Cleveland Browns games with my dad. My biological dad was actually surprised at how well the Lions did this year. Won 14 games, where the year before last, they barely won shit. From what I remember. So, their offensive defense have definitely improved. By a lot. Aliens? Wait, which kind? The illegal immigrants or the outer space kind? Oh, the outer space kind.
You've been briefed on the terrestrials they found in Mexico, right, Mr. President?
I don't think those are gray skinned. They're more red skinned than anything.
Those two fossilized aliens with eggs in its stomach.
Someone called them predators. This is some alien versus predator type bullshit. Are you sure? Really? Nah.
Look it up on your phone. It's paused. They can't hear you. Look it up on your phone.
That's what I'm doing.
What do you see?
There's one from China.
Does it look real? You okay, Mr. President?
I think I found it. Holy shit.
What do you think, Robert?
Jesus Christ. This is fucked.
Robert, can you read it out loud? Read what you're reading.
This is fucked.
Read it.
Address the public about it as the president.
This is Jesus. Hang on, I'm not done.
Read it out loud.
Yeah.
I don't
Please.
read out loud. It's because.
I didn't get
Tell
a
the
chance to
people.
read it before.
Well, then you look at it. I suppose I could scroll back up, but it's kind of riveting. This is fucked. The two extraterrestrial corpses, which were tested after they were displayed at Mexico's Congress last week, belonged to a single skeleton with no evidence of any assembly or manipulation of the skulls. Mexican doctors have claimed scientists on Sunday conducted a number of tests on the two non-human specimens that were previously weighed to Mexican politicians at Congress. Journalist Jamie Mousen? Did I just pronounce that? Mausssan?
Yeah.
Under oath told the House that small corpses were retrieved from Diadem? I'm guessing that means diamond? Diatom. Is that an actual element? What do they use it for? Can someone Google that? What the fuck are they in?
Can you spell it?
Diatom.
What do you want me to Google about it?
What is it used for? Or what are its uses?
One of the
what is
largest
it in?
groups of organisms on Earth. Unicellular algae.
It's just used for algae.
Huh.
Did you want some?
No, I just never heard of that particular element.
It removes carbon dioxide from the atmosphere.
We
through
could get you some.
photosynthesis.
No, it's not necessary. I mean, it might be cool to see what it looks like. But no, I don't need any.
Alright. Let us know if you do.
Why? I'm not even sure what I'm going to use it for. Can it explode? Okay, we'll use it for that. We'll test it. See if it can go boom. Might make for an interesting video. Can diatom explode? Let's find out.
So the aliens brought diatom down to Mexico City?
Diatom mines in Caso, Peru, with almost a third of their DNA remaining. Unknown politicians were told the corpses were estimated to be 1,000 years old. Hussein made similar claims in Peru, which were later debunked, including 5 mummies found in Peru in 2017, which were later shown to be human children. That's fucked up. Like, who the fuck mummifies their kids? That isn't ancient Egyptian. Let me clarify, that isn't ancient Egyptian, because they actually did that as when we first learned about mummification in the first place. Well, modern age learned about mummification, I should say. Last week's alleged alien display was questioned by scientists, academics, and archaeologists who argued their corpses were way too humanoid to be genuine. Jose Zalkbetnitz, the director of the Health Sciences Research Institute, said the studies concluded that the alleged aliens belonged to a single skeleton and were not assembled with human objects. He said his team found that one was alive, was intact, was biological, and was in gestation, in reference to the alleged large lumps found inside one of the corpse's abdomen, which could be eggs, New York Post reported. Further, it previously claimed that these bodies have no relation to human beings. The alleged corpses have a humanoid shape with small body, elongated head, and 3 fingers on each hand. Some claimed the bodies have 2 arms and 2 legs. The bodies of 2 arms and 2 legs had strong white bones and no teeth, along with implants of cadmium and osmium. Professor Brian Cox, COX, was among the critics who pointed out that it was very unlikely that an intelligent species that evolved on another planet would look like us. Secondly, send a sample off to 23andMe genetic testing firm, but on the university down the road, and they'll tell you within 10 minutes. He wrote on X. Honestly, Musk, glad you changed Twitter's name from Twitter to X. That's just retarded as fuck. Formerly known as Twitter. National Anonymous University of Mexico in a statement said its researchers had never examined the actual specimens but had merely carried out carbon testing on skin samples provided by a client back in 2017. The carbon dating was only intended to determine the age of the sample brought by each user, and in no case do we make conclusions about the origin of said samples, the university has said. Yeah, that's it. That is actually pretty cool, but also kind of fucked up. This has been President Roberts signing off. Have a good night.